And now I'll go to the third and the last presentation of this session. I would invite Mr. K.K. Jain for his presentation of intelligent O&M in refining industry. A brief profile of Mr. Jain. Mr. Jain has been very close to me. I have known him. He was in Indian Oil as my senior, and after his retirement, he is working with ALGO8 as president. So Mr. Jain was 1981 batch chemical engineer from IIT Roorkee, having more than 40 years of experience in downstream oil refining and petrochemical business, while working at different positions in Guwahati, Mathura, Panipat, Barauni refineries, and corporate office, New Delhi. He joined Indian Oil Corporation as graduate engineer training in 1981 at Guwahati refinery. He has working experience in environmental control, process, production engineering, advanced process controls, and online optimization, LP-based complex downstream integrated supply chain management, refinery supply chain economics, crude evaluation, purchase of multiple refineries, and petrochemical business development group. He has presented many technical papers and chaired technical sessions in national and international conferences. He was Executive Director, Petrochemicals Project, Corporate Business Development, Executive Director, Barauni Refinery, and Executive Director, Center for High Technology CST, prior to current assignment as President of ALGO8 with effect from August 21. Over to you, Mr. K.K. Jain.
Thank you, Session Chair, Shobhajit. Thanks, GRPC, for providing this platform to interact with this esteemed audience. But before going this, I would like to seek your pardon for my bad throat. So you might have to bear it. Now this presentation is a combined presentation, I would like to say. I'll be covering the general part of, say, oil and gas industry's outlook, the challenges which the refineries are facing, and the required digital solutions which can be provided to the refining industries, for which I will invite my young CEO of the ALGO8 company, Mr. Nandan Mishra, in between. So I'll need that permission to invite Mr. Nandan Mishra in between.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So I'll be presenting about oil and gas outlook, the present happenings that are taking place and how it is affecting the refining and the downstream business, and the impact of these changes which are coming to the downstream industries, what kind of challenges it is giving, and how these challenges need to be then mitigated through technology interventions and the solution available with this startup company, ALGO8. So, well, if we start with this, though we think that COVID is almost over, but it is not so. The new variants are still coming. China, we have seen the Shanghai is under lockdown, and now even the Beijing is now going to under severe lockdown, and this is affecting even the supply chain. A lot of ships are locked in there, and because of locking of those ships, the transportation cost might increase, and that will affect the crude as well as the product pricing also it might affect. So though we have recovered well, we have almost come to the pre-COVID level demand scenario, but the future is still uncertain. Omicron, then Delta variant, and the new variants. Even in India also we are now witnessing the new kind of variants, and this might affect the demand and the operation of the refining systems. Second, the new development which is taking place is the renewable energy, the technology, and the proactive actions that has been taken by the government related to renewable power, green hydrogen, the electric vehicles. So all these now have picked up a great momentum, and minded this started during the COVID time. That has given the opportunity particularly to the EVs kind of thing, or the green power, and that has taken in now greater movement. And the time is not far enough when these green energy, green hydrogen, they will compete with the fossil energy, and this might pose a different kind of challenge to the refining industries. The gasoline and diesel demand face challenge. from rising share of the electric vehicles, and this will first, the gasoline will get first affected because out of our total gasoline demand, roughly 2/3 demand is consumed by the two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And we have seen the three-wheelers, the great success, and the battery-driven three-wheelers are operating, not only in Delhi NCR, but in different cities, and very soon the two-wheelers are going to pick up, and this will affect gasoline demand a lot. So we have to think about the alternative, different kind of alternatives which are available or which should be made available to the naphtha, which is at present going to gasoline. So what are the different alternate routes which are required? Luckily, petrochemical demand is growing at a very faster rate, around 7 to 8% CAGR growth we have witnessed, and it is expected that the same will continue. So the refineries are seeking different options to convert oil to chemicals. And once this kind of options are made available or available to the refinery when they are going to the new configuration or the revamp, whatever they are doing, this will provide the greater opportunity and the flexibility to move or to plan their operation to maximize the profitability. Though we say that carbon dioxide emission per capita is very low for a country like India, but if we talk in the absolute term, we are the third highest carbon dioxide emitter in the world. And by taking the shelter of per capita low, we should not shut up our responsibility of reducing the carbon dioxide emission. So though the government has taken different initiatives to reduce our carbon footprint, but the refineries have to work with the different opportunities which are coming up, how to reduce the carbon footprints. Energy markets are having the extreme volatility driven by, at present, we have seen the geopolitical tensions that is taking place between, say, Russia and Ukraine, and the COVID uncertainty is still there. So whether these uncertainties are within the countries or outside the country, definitely it will affect India as a whole. Now, energy mix is projected to shift towards more on the power side, particularly by 2050, around 50% energy mix will be shifting towards the power generation. Green hydrogen, though we have discussed a lot, it is at the nascent stage. The green hydrogen production cost might be high, but if we take the overall cycle or the, say, delivery cost of the hydrogen, it will not be only the production cost, but the storage and transportation in total, we will have to see it. But definitely it is expected that with the R&D developments that are taking place, that beyond 2030 or 35, the green hydrogen may pick up a greater momentum, and maybe that as India is looking for, that this might provide an opportunity to become net exporter of energy rather than what we are doing at present, the net import of the energy. With these developments, the projected peak demand for gasoline and diesel, though we are making different projections, but definitely it is expected that within next, say, 5 or 10 years, the peak might come very soon. But that does not mean that the the petroleum product demand is going to come down. The crude processing cost, crude processing capacity is definitely going to increase in India, and thanks to the petrochemical growth, which will be consuming 1/3 of additional crude requirement, which is going to be projected for India. So, with this development and the government initiatives, what we are seeing at present, though our gas percentage is very low, 6%, but we do aspire to have around 15% gas share in our energy basket, though that's a very aspirational one. And even with the current initiatives which have been taking, like Satat or CBG or different kinds of initiatives, the CGD and the infrastructure, whatever we are building, to increase our gas share. It is expected that by 2040, we might reach to the level of 11%. Biofuel is picking up the momentum. Our 20% target, which we set in for bioethanol, the way we are progressing, very soon we are going to achieve that. Already we are near to 10%. And within 3 or 4 years, we are going to achieve around 20% target. Now, with this different kind of changes that is coming, the refinery industries are becoming more and more complex. We used to have a simple refinery where crude used to come. So crude used to be the major inputs, then the catalyst and chemicals, rest everything we were producing. We were having our own captive power plant and other things. Now the scenario is changing. The power cost is coming down. The captive power plant which we built in along with the refineries was the main reason was the reliability of the power as well as the economics also, the power cost. But gradually, as the power cost is going to coming down and it is becoming more and more reliable, our transmission systems are also becoming more and more reliable. The green power intake might be one of the major input along with the crude. And the green hydrogen is not behind. Maybe after 10 years, this might become a real day-to-day input. Biofeeds, whether in the form of either the feed which might go to the either say FCC unit or biofuel like in Mathura or in Panipat refinery, we are going to produce our bioethanol, 2G ethanol and 1G ethanol. So this input and the blending will become a very much reality. So the complexity will increase with the number of different kinds of feed. Maybe the hydrogen, maybe the power, maybe the biofeed, or maybe the bioethanol. This will provide a different kind of blending opportunities and optimization opportunities in the refineries. So biofuel blending within refineries to take advantage of the higher octane. Our naphtha balance might change once this becomes a regular affair. The refineries will have greater integration with olefins and the aromatic complex. The way the profitability is driven by our petrochemical, it looks like very soon that the LPG which we are producing and supplying as a fuel might be one of the major feed to our cracker units. So maybe more of biogas or more of natural gas might be the input as a fuel to the refineries, and all the LPG C3, C4 component may be the feed to the cracker units. So this will provide another opportunity for optimization. The variable power and hydrogen cost, we know very well, all this renewable power or the renewable green hydrogen, the cost will be varying depending upon day and night and the seasons. So depending upon the variable cost, the optimization opportunities will be generated and the refineries have to work based on that. Indian power reforms will make power more affordable and reliable, incentivizing refineries to import more and more power. Once we import more power rather than producing our own, even our steam economics might change. At present, compared to the West, our refineries are very much heavily dependent on the steam network. And we say that incremental cost of steam is very low. That's why our major equipment are driven by the steam. But once the power becomes, say, cheaper compared to producing our own, we might have to rethink about our steam network and we might need to convert some of our supercritical rotary equipment from steam driven to the power driven. So now with these different kind of challenge, different kinds of inputs, different kind of variables which are available, which will be available, so what kind of challenges are there? So because of changing in the pricing, changing in the different demand pattern, maybe because of the COVID or maybe because of geopolitical different scenario, the margins will keep on fluctuating. So the first challenge is how to sustain the margin in different kind of scenarios. Second is how to maintain our refineries to operate at full capacity. Unlike the West, unlike the Europe, where the refineries operate at lower capacity, we are accustomed to operate our refineries more than 100% capacity. And we would like to do that. To do that, we have to keep our equipments, our process plants always at healthy condition, and that requires a big challenge, how to maintain their good health and how to predict that when the plant shutdown can be taken up.
Mr. Jain, I'm afraid we are running out of time. So if you can expedite a little.
So the other challenges might be the workplace safety, and we have talked a lot about the carbon footprint reduction, and which it will be a challenge, and by using the different operational efficiency improvement and our supply chain improvement, this can be, carbon footprint can be reduced. Now, so though the refineries have a very good, excellent instrumentation all over the countries, but we generate a lot of data, but out of that only maybe 2 to 5% data we are using for our control systems or advanced process control system. Lot of data, the discrete data, maybe our inspection data, our material data, our lab data, all are lying in different areas, and we are not able to utilize them cohesively. So do we have systems available where we can see everything together and convert all those data into information and ultimately to the decision-making systems? So with these available challenges, these available opportunities, and the technological development that have taken place due to IIoT and the machine learning technology, now a lot of opportunities are available. All the discrete kind of data can be converted into information and decision-making system using the data lake kind of systems. So this will become the base now in future, where all the data, different types of data is available, and different technologies are available to utilize this data and convert into the decision-making. Now, to utilize this kind of enormous data, now ALGO8, which is a startup company, has got and developed the right kind of solutions which can be applied to any process industries and refining industries in particular. There are certain other areas which are, say, no-man area, we can say, which need to be looked into by as a refiner, and normally those gets overlooked. Like if we talk about the amine circuit, though it is prevalent, it is common to the entire refinery, but nobody owns it. When the problem comes, people see either this unit problem is there or next unit there is problem, and we find that there is a amine strength goes down. So it needs a lot of monitoring. Similar is the stripped water management systems. If not properly used, it overloads our ETP systems as well as increases the water load to the systems. Water and steam network, hydrogen network, these are some of the important network which needs monitoring on 24/7 and needs guidance. So with this, I will invite my young CEO, Mr. Nandan Mishra, to say what kind of solution or the technological interventions he can suggest for the refinery. So I invite Mr. Nandan Mishra, please.
Yeah, Mr. Mishra, you will have 5 minutes time. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so since we don't have time, so I come from a very orthogonal basis. I come from a background of Google and Citibank, so did my machine learning, got initiated into that. In fact, when we were launching the B2B maps, and then since I'm academically trained as a chemical engineer, we started amalgamating that, and the result was ALGO8. So what we've been doing is that we are an industrial AI company. We provide algorithmic solutions on plant big data. We are the top 20 global startups selected by Vedanta Spark. We work on various digital transformation initiatives with major downstream companies. Challenge as expressed by Mr. Jain is that companies right now use really less amount of data in their day-to-day operations, and we are here to change that. Our solution is called Plant Brain. It sits on top of operational data, and it helps you improve your rules, decisions, information, the way you run your plant. We've evolved in the last 5 years, and now we are at a very productization platform stage. If you look at our platform, there are two aspects to it. One is basically focusing on the structured data that you have, primarily coming out of your machines and coming out of your process. Our platform sits on top of it, and it can give you plug-and-play analytics. And the unstructured and visual data, we have deep learning algorithms that help you improve your productivity, improve your safety SOP. For example, if you think of plant-brain features, we are able to help quality prediction, use case in upstream where we are predicting the polymer viscosity, which is being injected into early enhanced oil recovery. Plant care, we've got a very state-of-the-art implementation at Panipat, where we have helped them predict failures before they happen and has increased the reliability of the assets. This is for the MAB RFCCU. And plant cognition has been used to improve SOPs around refineries. So that's what we've been doing. If you look at deployments, as I told you, it's 2 to 5% of variance reduction for quality target. This has been done at Keynes Energy. Then in plant care, it's been again done, which is improved availability by 10% at Panipat. And then we've also helped many discrete manufacturers improve their quality. So apart from that, we are also doing the digital twin for FCCU for one of the largest refiners across 3 refineries. It is to do with performance and predictive health monitoring, yield prediction, product quality, reactor regeneration, carbon modeling, self-learning, FCCU kinetic model. Also, we are also implementing across 7 refineries intelligent heat exchanger fouling prediction, where you are getting online fouling prediction, impact analysis on preheat train, economic decision making, adjustment in the network flow. Would like to talk in details if anybody is interested into this. So we've been adopted across, and these are all we are just 3-year-old startup, but we are proudly made in India. We have 3 labs across IITs in India, and we are been adopted, and we are really proud of our adoption till now. We've almost done 30 deployments now. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I hope I was on time. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nandan Mishra. Thank you, Mr. KK Jain, and thank you all the speakers.